Joining us right now is Representative Jeff Duncan. Welcome to the program. Glad to have you, sir. Thank you.
Well, Charlie, it's always great to be on with you, and what a shame to see what the DOJ is actually turning into.
This administration has weaponized every agency of the United States government against conservatives, haven't they?
They sure have, and they have 87,000 new IRS agents coming your way to audit conservatives across the country. It's really scary.
It really is a scary time. So, I mean, should, by the grace of God, the Republicans win back the House and or the Senate, are there going to be investigations into stuff like this? I mean, real, true investigations?
Well, absolutely. Jim Jordan is already teeing up. He's going to be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Jamie Comer from Kentucky will be chairman of Oversight and Governmental Reform, a committee where Trey Gowdy and Jason Chavis and Darrell Issa really shined back in 11 and 12 under the Obama administration. So these two committees are really going to go after this administration. I hope they issue multiple subpoenas every day for people within the bureaucracies, and we'd really see and be able to paint for the American people what has exactly happened. And then after those hearings, we need to have, contempt of Congress and other condemnations and things that the legislative branch can do against the judiciary, given the fact that we're not a judiciarial body. We're not a law enforcement body. We don't have the ability really to arrest anyone, but the American people can put the pressure on it, and we can, point out things just like Hunter Biden's laptop and the culpability the media has on hiding the fact for the voters that Joe Biden was tied in with his son's business dealings in Ukraine and China and other places.
Absolutely. And of course, we know that the FBI, they were pressuring the social media companies not to, or to squash the information on Hunter Biden's laptop. But we've also got some other issues out there. I mean, let me just ask you something. When you heard that Ron DeSantis had sent a plane full of illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard, did that bring a little smile to your face?
Absolutely. I cheered my friend Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, on that. And, now you're seeing the left just go bonkers over the fact that now every community is a border community. Every state's a border state. And that's the thing that Ron and Governor Abbott down in Texas are trying to point out, that, they shouldn't bear the brunt of these illegals that are coming across the border. We know that the left has said that they've broken the law and they ought to be arrested or ought to have to step down. Well, Joe Biden was sending migrants across the country in midnight flights to conservative states. Maybe Joe Biden should be arrested or have to step down if you use the same liberal logic.
If you do, but they never do. And, of course, we've got that sheriff down there in Bexar County, Sheriff Salazar, now opening up an investigation into Governor DeSantis. You think that's going to go anywhere?
It's not going to go anywhere. He's just trying to make some points. And here's the thing. In Texas, they're feeling the brunt of this. I talked to the sheriff in Kinney County down where Del Rio is about the impact on their county. Multiple other sheriffs have come up from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. We know what the impact of these migrants are. And just while in Uvalde, Texas, the site of the school shooting recently, they just arrested a guy, stopped him on the road on Highway 90, who was on the terrorist watch list and committed multiple offenses, had gotten about 30 miles inland, and just happened to be arrested. I think he's been arrested 3 times now.
Now, it's interesting because I thought we had a border czar who was supposed to be taking care of all these things, all the situation that this country's in. How do you feel Kamala Harris has done as border czar?
Well, she hasn't gone to the border yet. How you're a border czar if you never go down and see what the situation is. Of course, we saw the White House press secretary say that the border is secure. Kamala Harris has said the border is secure. Joe Biden has said whatever people have told him to say because he really has no knowledge of anything. The border isn't secure. And I've been down there myself, and I know it. I've talked to the folks on the ground. And everyone across America knows that. They see fentanyl coming across. And what concerns me, Charlie, we've talked about this before, is you see these apprehension rates. Those are the migrants that have come across, illegal aliens that have entered our country illegally and had touch with law enforcement. Now, whether they're apprehended and sent back or whether they're still incarcerated or whether they've been turned loose, those numbers are just the ones that had contact with Border Patrol or Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What about the ones that just got across the Rio Grande, across the desert, and never saw law enforcement, now reside in this country, when we know that folks from Asia, the Middle East, Africa, not just the Hispanics from Latin America and South America, but others from across the country have attempted to come across our border. Some have been apprehended, but what about the ones that aren't, that Quds Force from Iran's Revolutionary Guard, have sent into this country. That's what concerns me. And then we know all this fentanyl that's coming in by the heck, I hate to use a number for the doses that are coming in because such a small amount will kill so many Americans. So
right.
Anyway, that's concerning to me.
It should be concerning to everyone. But I guess we got some good news on Sunday from the White House. The pandemic's over.
Well, I heard a beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
and they're backing that up as hard as they can go because they can't get any more funding out of Congress if they declare the pandemic over. We've known it's been over really for a good long time now. But anyway, I'm glad Biden said it on 60 Minutes, and now the White House is trying to spin it differently. But he knows it's over. We know it's over, and it's time to move on.
One of the things, on a much more serious note, he said that U.S. forces would be used to protect Taiwan if China were to invade them. The White House tried to walk that back, and then they said for any further clarification, you got to ask the White House. I thought Joe Biden was the White House.
He is. He's commander-in-chief, and he said the American forces would be used to enforce a treaty obligation that we have with Taiwan. Then that's the commander-in-chief. The White House shouldn't back it up. It just shows you the White House thinks they're in control, all the administration officials, and not the president himself. He spoke what he believes and what he has been told, I guess. And the fact is, we have a treaty obligation with Taiwan, and this was a direct message to China: don't mess with Taiwan. The White House can try to back it up, but I think at the end of the day, we're going to protect Taiwan and our interests there, which comes down to microchips and military bases and other things we have in the region.
You know, it's amazing with everything that's going on. The government is going to ask us to spend a whole bunch of money to keep the government open. Right now, I'm not seeing any good reason to keep it open. What's that fight going to be looking like?
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats don't have a plan. Here it is. What's the day's date? Is the 20th of September. We've got 10 more days to hatch a plan to keep government open or pass some sort of short-term spending bill. They'll probably do a continuing resolution, but they will try to attach, and they are trying to attach, all kinds of social spending and social policy of this CR. That's where their problem is, because the hard left progressives want one thing, the more moderate Democrats want another. The speaker's kind of caught in both realms. She wants to do a lot of progressive policy in this CR, but she also has to get 218 votes. She could probably count on about 6 to 8 Republicans to go along with her, same Republicans that vote on a lot of their social and Marxist spending stuff and have in the past. So she's got to try to keep her caucus or conference together.
Have you heard any rumblings there in D.C. that her job's in trouble?
Her job's definitely in trouble. We're going to win the House of Representatives. We're definitely going to win in November. It's just a matter of numbers. We picked up so many seats in redistricting, but then, you know, you think about all the things we've talked about today. We talk about the pandemic being over. We talk about the border. We talk about fentanyl. We talk about the illegal immigrants that have come to the country, inflation. I mean, the market was down 300 points today, so all of our 401ks and savings have gone down, continue to go down under this Biden administration. Prices are high. Grocery shelves are empty. We're paying more for gasoline to take us to and fro school and to church and to the grocery store and whatnot. We see what's happening in California. Green policies like that don't work when you put total reliance on that. We know what works. We know what provides transportation fuels and baseload power. And this administration gets it wrong on all fronts. And yet they're the ones that called Trump and Trump Republicans semi-fascist or whatever. When really you see more socialist, fascist type policies coming out of this administration. And I think Americans know that.